and they'll go at another dog.
So how can anyone, Christine and Rob Allen, Chris Cohen and Jennifer Long, how can they be so sure that they themselves are safe? The answer, experts say, is doing temperament tests after the dogs are rescued, deliberately trying to incite a dog to see how it will react, which Carl Friedman requires when he takes in dogs for potential adoption. He's the director of Animal Care and Control for the city of San Francisco. Okay, you just looked at this dog, Buster.
Buster.
And you said, sweet dog, you can tell.
I can tell. I can just tell, maybe it's years of being in the business. Look at the tail. Look at the tail wagging. That's a friendly, hey, Buster. Hey, Buster.
So you'd feel okay, you or me, or getting in there and rolling around with this dog?
I would have no qualms doing it. I would have no qualms. This dog would not be here available for adoption if you weren't able to do that with him. I can look at the ones that come in here and I can tell you in 5 minutes, how they were trained by the people who brought it in, and I can tell you if they were trained to be aggressive.
What do you look for?
Well, you're looking for animals that, that they're going after each other. They're very mouthy. They're very protective. Their play, even though it's biting, is much rougher than the usual play that you would find in some of these animals. And you can tell that these animals probably came from a lineage of fighting dogs, or dogs in their own right that were trained to be aggressive.
What got you interested in pit bulls?
A mistake. We adopted a dog out of the shelter.
A dog?
We adopted a dog. Well, I went into it, and I said, I don't care what we get, I just don't want a pit bull, and I don't want a pit bull mix.
Oh, you said that originally.
I did, because I believed everything that the newspaper said. I actually didn't even know what a pit bull looked like. Obviously, because then we ended up picking a dog where everybody said, oh, he's a pit bull and what? And I thought, oh, no.
Drop. Sit.
Turning people like Christine around is one of the goals of a group called Bad Rap, which brought 10 of Michael Vick's dogs from Virginia to live with foster families in and around San Francisco. Bad Rap tries to rehabilitate and find homes for abused pit bulls. They say that the breed is unfairly labeled vicious and irredeemable. After placing dogs in foster homes, Bad Rap trainer Tim Racer conducts classes.
Good eye contact. Good. Remember, talk to your dogs. Praise your dogs if they're doing good, especially if they look up at you.
Pit bull obedience classes, where the dogs are taught to obey their masters and ignore other dogs.
Look, ready? Ready? Ted.
This is where Christine Allen brings Ted, the Michael Vick dog she's caring for.
Remember, praise your dog. If you catch your dog looking up at you, even if you don't ask, good dog, real quick.
And where Chris Cohen brings Johnny.
And wait and sit. Good boy, good boy. You ready?
Pit bulls, they'll tell you here, are just like any other dog, even former fighting pit bulls. Leslie Nuccio has taken in Hector, another of the dogs that came from Michael Vick.
This is obviously a lot of scarring on his chest and front legs. He has a few on his back legs, but mostly in the front. So clearly either he was deliberately fought, which would be the guess given where he came from, or got in an awful lot of scrappy yard fights, but he's seen some action for sure. He's not talking though. I've asked him, what happened? He's like, I don't know, he's over it.
You know he was abused. I mean, just by being one of Michael Vick's dogs, you know he was abused. Isn't that enough to give you some fear? Because he shouldn't trust humans. He should be scared of humans. That would include you.
Yeah, any dog man, any dog person really, knows the breed and just is familiar with canines is going to read body language. And right off the bat, this guy has fantastic body language. He's given me all the right signals of what he should be doing. Look at his tail. He's got a nice low tail wag that he's doing, and he's looking me in the eye. Right now he's going after my treat bag. I know he's more interested in treats than anything else. So no, you really shouldn't. Matter of fact, that's mythology. You shouldn't be afraid of dogs on a fight yard. These dog fighters were no fools. They protected their own butts. That's why they created a fighting dog that was phenomenal people. They bred them to never redirect.
They bred them to fight dogs, not
people.
He likes to be held. He always has. Sometimes we do a little lap dancing. He likes the cello, and he likes Jose Feliciano. I've tried to talk to him about that, but he still likes Feliz Navidad. I don't know why. Ginger Budgie.
You obviously have no hesitation
About this guy?
about doing anything with him.
No, he is like the most. I've taken, rawhide pieces straight out of his mouth. I've taken my shoe straight out of his mouth.
The truth is, after spending a few days in the company of pit bulls, I've come away from this story with less fear of them, if not a strong desire to have one. Even Michael Vick's dogs. If you had told me 3 days ago that I was going to take a walk with the two of you between a couple of pit bulls, I'd have said, "Oh no, I'm not. They don't pay me enough." And now I'm willing to get down. So what does that tell you?
It tells me that you're now a believer.
This is a pit bull. But it might be instructive to remember that some pit bulls are friendly and gentle, but as history is our guide, some aren't, and maybe never will be. Like some of those 150 fighting dogs confiscated in Tucson. Half a dozen are being designated this week to go to California in the care of the rescue group Bad Rap. But the shelter manager in Tucson says others still aren't socialized.
You move the wrong way, you have to back them into the corner for cleaning or something, and they will bite. So generally you have one person with a snare pole, or you can take something like a kennel guard and just go in there and kind of deflect them, back them a little bit to the corner, and just let them know, okay, that's the boundary, you're staying there and I'm staying here.
They're also kept separated, one adult dog to a cage, to keep them from doing what they've been trained to do, fighting other dogs. Only if they can prove that they've overcome that behavior, which is all they ever knew, will more of these dogs be considered safe and ripe to adopt, even if sympathetic families want to. Even this brand new litter of pit bulls, which look about as cuddly as newborn dogs could look, even these, according to animal control officials, could grow up to be killers.
Even if the animal has never been fought, there may be 30 generations of breeding for animal aggressiveness in that. So even somebody who adopts that animal who may be very loving and so on and so forth, they may need to know up front, this is not a dog you're ever going to be able to take to the dog park and let play with the other dogs. He may tear them apart just because that instinct's going to kick in.
But try telling that to the pit bull owners in California who have taken in Michael Vick's dogs.
I think that they're really fun dogs. They love to play. They're always like smiling at you. They almost have a sense of humor, it seems like sometimes, and they're very loyal. They love you to death if you're their people.
It's the depth in which the dog bonds with their handler. The amount of loyalty that these dogs will give their owners is amazing. And that's what draws me to help this breed more and more.
They're just dogs, like all other dogs. Being a responsible dog owner is much more important than what kind of dog you have. And you could own any breed, a Chihuahua, and you could, if you were irresponsible with it, it could turn into a nightmare. I mean, a mini nightmare, of course, because it's just a Chihuahua, but still. It's the most important thing is being responsible about owning your dog.
The question is, no matter how responsible the Allens are with Ted, are they crazy to have pit bulls, especially one with a background like Ted's, in their home? Could he turn in one unpredictable instant into a killer? The jury's still out on that. And if pit bulls truly are safe, will they ever be as acceptable beyond the walls of homes like this as, say, poodles are, or collies, or golden retrievers? The irony of the Michael Vick story is there may be enough sympathy because of this case that pit bulls carry less stigma today than they had before.
Next on World Report, the Iraqi men and women who risked their